Hello everyone. So 3 months postpartum, it feels like a strange decision to start off, my first video back with no makeup, but it's a rainy, cozy day. I'm fed, Gigi is fed, and she's asleep, so we're filming. I didn't plan to film this video, and certainly, not quite like this, because I don't even know what this is. Is this a haul? Is this a makeup tutorial? It's like kind of somewhere in between, like a haul and a makeup tutorial had a baby, because I did. And so I have a bag of goodies from Sephora because you know the drill. It's the Rouge sale right now, and just about to start is the regular sale. All the info down below with the dates and all that good stuff. And I'm pretty disciplined about the Sephora sale, especially nowadays. I don't really buy anything from there if it's not 20% off, so either now or in November, and it's a while to November, so I felt like I needed some new things, and it kind of works out well. I just went back to work, and so it just feels nice to have some new things to try on for the 10 to 15 minutes that I take to do my makeup pretty much every day before I start work, because I have a lot of Zoom meetings and Zoom is not kind to a makeupless face. So it's just something that makes me feel good, and we're gonna try some new things together. Some of these are repurchases, and most of it is kind of stuff that I can try in this video. So rather than have my face on and do a haul with like the awkward swatches that you can't see anything, we're going to use my face to do the swatches because I have literally nothing on my face right now. I chose food even over skincare this morning, and my skin feels so dry and tight. Like I said, it's a rainy day. I feel like the lighting is kind of as good as it gets if you're like me and you just favor like natural lighting over studio lighting. But if I look tired, that's an excuse, or I can use Gigi as an excuse too now for why I look tired. So I'm going to start off with my little skincare pots here, and this is not new stuff, but these are things that are sold at Sephora if you want to get a discount on them. All the links are down below. So this Summer Fridays eye cream is really great. It just feels nice when I put it on, and I don't like to use anything super heavy because creased concealer is a pet peeve of mine, but also something I'm super subject to because I don't like to set my concealer with powder, because then I feel like that makes my skin look dry. It looks fantastic on camera if you're taking pictures, so I do it sometimes, but for every day I don't like the feel or look of baked under eye concealer. I'm a bad YouTuber because of that. There's a real difference in my opinion between what looks good on camera on YouTube and Instagram versus what feels and looks good in real life. And yeah, I prefer to go for the latter because I don't spend most of my life on cameras. So this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream is pretty pricey, so it's nice to have a discount on it. Still have enough of it in this jar that I didn't feel like repurchasing it, but I'm second guessing that now because of how much I'm slathering on my face, because as soon as I put some on, my skin just feels better. But this is a nice product because it's very multi-purpose. If you watched my wedding makeup tutorial, I was pregnant on my wedding, 28 weeks pregnant, and I'm still so happy with how my makeup turned out. That tutorial has a bit like weird lighting, but I'm really happy with how the makeup looked. And so if you want something a little bit more formal than this sort of 5 to 10 minute face, which I'm going to take like 5 times that time to show you because I'm chatting to you nonstop since we haven't talked in forever, since the end of Vlogmas. And so I feel like we have so much to catch up on, but in real life this does not take me very long, and this takes me, I'm going to say 5 to 15 minutes, and that sounds like a big difference, but it depends, how many coffee sip breaks / check on Gigi breaks that I'm taking while I'm doing that. Sometimes I'm sure it's like even longer than that, but it's just kind of a simple, easy makeup routine, and it does double duty. I think what I was trying to say like 2 minutes ago, it does double duty as both a primer and as a moisturizer, and does both really well. It does not sort of give your makeup that sometimes like strange finish that pore blurring primers will do within a few hours. They always look good. It always looks good right away, but then, you know, what happens like 3, 4, 10 hours in, if you're wearing your makeup all day, and again, it's real life, not a photo shoot, most primers don't look so great after that amount of time, but this one, because I think it's a bit more like moisturizer focused, does a great job while sort of like doing a bit of pore and line blurring as well. So looking at my bag of stuff, here's what I repurchased, but we're not going to use this. I told you this was a weird format video. I'm not going to crack open my brand new skin tint, but this is something I always repurchase in the sale. If your skin is not super oily, i.e. any other skin type other than super oily, you will love this. I really, really recommend trying it. It's the best skin tint I've ever tried, and I was a die-hard Clinique BB cream lover, so if you feel like your skin is super oily, then I would get that. But if it's not, and as mine has been getting drier over the last few years, this is my favorite product. It has hyaluronic acid in it. Always shake it. People who try it and don't like it, it's because you don't shake it and it does separate. It's like more of a natural product. And definitely make sure you get the right color. I was using one that was too light at first because I couldn't believe that I was shade number 7. I mean, look how pale that I am. Like, that just seems insane. But to sort of get enough of a tint out of it, because it is relatively sheer, you kind of have to do that and kind of like go a little bit darker, I feel like, than you think you need. So you can see it actually looks like the right tint, right, but like a little bit darker than my skin, but because it's sheer, that's what you need. Otherwise it gives you a little bit of a funny cast. And I just love the finish of it. It leaves my skin looking so plump. It does not work super well with like a brush. I mean, sometimes I use a brush on it, but I think fingers work best for this one, and when you're in a hurry like I am, it's perfect. So that just works really well for me. But even before I was in a super hurry in the morning every day, I already loved this, so that's not why I love it, but it's an addition to the long list of reasons. We are 16 weeks into exclusively breastfeeding, and I don't even know what else I do in my day. I'm like working again now all the time, but it still feels like somehow most of my day is breastfeeding nonetheless. And so that is why I don't have time for a lot of makeup in the morning. I'm just gonna ramble a little bit about my motherhood experiences so far. I'm just sharing like my, you know, experience. Obviously, like, I can't speak to anything else other than my experience. I don't know that much about babies still. Gigi being my first like newborn experience, and no other little babies that I've met in my family. One other little baby born though. Gigi has a little cousin who is just a couple months older than she is, a little boy. But I haven't met him yet because he lives in Europe, in Belgium. But other than that, yeah, no baby experience. So everything with Gigi is just like mind-blowing experience after another, and it's so fun. Both my husband and I are just absolutely still in the baby moon stage, where we're just like so annoying because we're so just overwhelmed with gratitude and love and just all the like positive, loving, mushy emotions every time she so much as like sneezes in our faces. So that's just kind of like where we're at. So you'll have to forgive me for that. I don't know if it lasts forever or not. I've been told that it might last until she graduates college or past that, even through any kind of scary teenage phases. So we're just gonna go with it. Anyway, my face feels so much better already. It's crazy. Like the hyaluronic acid that I think are in a number, if not all, of these products that I just put on incredibly slowly after telling you how fast it is, really make a difference. So everything feels better. Excellent. Let's move on and do like just a little bit of concealing. I did buy, I feel like, a little bit more makeup than I usually would, which is kind of how we ended up with this video format. So it's actually fun because Tarte was the first counter aisle that I went to at Sephora, braving the Sephora sale because I thought I might want to, you know, share something about the sale before it was over, which is what happens if you ship stuff to yourself and why you haven't like recently seen a Sephora haul from me. So Tarte was the first aisle I went to because I listened to a podcast with Maureen Kelly, who is the founder of Tarte, a long time ago. It's kind of more of like a heritage makeup brand. You know, they were around selling before Sephora, I think, even was a thing, and before certainly social media was. So she's a very interesting founder because she's kind of seen it all in terms of creating a cosmetic brand, remains the CEO to this day post-acquisition, and she just seems like such an amazing lady. I honestly kind of paused before I listened to that podcast because I was like, makeup, more makeup. I kind of have been gravitating towards more different kind of podcasts. I do love that series though, How I Built This. It's so good. If you are interested in business, you'll really like it. But the ones I tend to gravitate towards are more like the Chobani founder. He did a podcast, and you know, it's such a line of business I don't know that much about with the yogurt empire that he's built. I just, you know, find that more interesting, I guess, than cosmetics, which I see on IG all the time. But I'm really glad I listened to it. Her story is incredible. Seems so incredibly resilient, but positive and just very inspiring. So if you want to listen to something like that, then you should check it out. But I haven't bought anything from Tarte in a long time. I want to say the last thing that I really loved from Tarte was the Exposed blush, which is kind of similar to the Charlotte Tilbury I wore on my wedding. I know a reference you won't understand because I won't be using that today, but it is linked in my wedding makeup tutorial. Very similar colors, but I used to really love Tarte Exposed. That was like my, you know, starting my career, like work appropriate, feels polished, slightly 90s kind of look that I loved for like years and years and years, and then I got tired of it. But yeah, other than that, there wasn't that much that I really felt like I used routinely from Tarte, so I thought I would try out a few new things, and this concealer is one of them. And it's one of those formulas where you only need a drop. I definitely think there's like a few brands that are like that. And I'm liking the glowy finish so far. It's probably one of those that you are supposed to set with some powder because it has that slight like creamy finish, but we'll see how it dries down. So far, I'm not seeing a lot of creasing, so that's good. And I have a lot of redness around my nose, so I probably need some more, but we don't want to like overdo it. We'll do just like a little bit more. So this is a smaller size because I just wanted to see if I liked it or not. And it's probably, since it says creaseless, it's probably only meant to be for your sort of like under eye area, but I don't care because I don't want to use multiple products when I'm in a hurry. So we're just going to use this everywhere that I need concealer. And if you feel like, you know, something like this Ilia skin tint is too light coverage for you, again, you know, consider whether you're really spending that much time on camera, and I'm not including zoom in that one because you don't need that much coverage to sort of look polished with zoom on a laptop or computer camera. But I think trying to pare down on that, it actually ends up making you look fresher for everyday life. And then you just use concealer. This is kind of like a Lisa Eldridge kind of spiel, isn't it? To use concealer just like where you need it, where there's redness left over after you've already used your skin tint, and you might be surprised at how little makeup you can get away with. If you don't want that concealer and you want something that for sure dries down to like more of like a dry finish, I'm liking this so far though. I usually use the All Hours concealer from YSL, which I kept on hand in case I didn't like the Tarte one, but so far we're liking it. What's next? So I've been using the NARS eye primer for more than a decade, definitely the entire time I've been on YouTube. But I felt like trying something new, kind of with like a little bit more of a skincare first, makeup second kind of approach. So I got the small size again in case I hated it. And this is the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer. So to my knowledge, it's one of the only ones that has skincare benefits that's also meant to prevent creasing for eyeshadows, because even though the rest of my face is super dry, my eye area is a little bit like on the lid, still a little greasy at the end of the day, and so of course that ruins my eyeshadows. So I thought we would try this and see how it fares. And a little trick too, kind of along the same lines of avoiding like too much powder and being more glowy, using a little bit of primer like this underneath your eyes, which I did not do today, but I will try another day, really helps to make your concealer last longer and crease less. So that's a little trick that does not involve powder for that I really like. And then another little trick, so you know there's like makeup all over this at this stage, and I like to go ahead and go over the primer on my eyelids to even out the look of my eyelids. I've been like scraping out the last little bit of my Armani powder because they discontinued the one that I liked. A lot of you guys recommended the Gucci one. It's good, but it doesn't really quite scratch the itch for me, so we're gonna try one from Tarte today. I really like the compact. So this is the Amazonian Clay. Is this a powder foundation? Yes, it is. And I do like that. I like having a little bit of coverage because I only really use it on the T-zone anyway. And so that's also where I tend to add more concealer. Makes sense to add a little bit more coverage through the powder as well. And again, you know, like this is a little bit more like peachy than my natural skin, but not yellow. You know, it's still very neutral. It is 20B light beige, and I find that that gives me a nice sort of tint, because sometimes you need to think about less like a perfect match of your skin, but also like how you want your skin to look, and I think a little bit more peachiness kind of makes me look a little bit better with makeup. So we're gonna try this together, and I know that I like this formulation generally because that is the same line for the Tarte Exposed blush that I used for years and years. So I guess, you know, I've quietly been kind of a Tartelette, as she calls her makeup lovers, for a long time, just not really realized it and coming back to it now. I really like this. I'm into it. It feels very light. Looking like super close up, like you kind of won't be able to see on camera. I feel like the texture of my skin still looks good and there's no cakiness. Sorry, quick break. Went to go check on Gigi and grab this product because I did not bring it down. This is so old. Look at that. There's like nothing left. Maybe I need to buy a new one. Isn't it awful the way with Sephora, you know, you spend hundreds of dollars and you're like, oh, I got everything, and then you start to look through, like around the time of the sale, your skincare, and like you realize a bunch of things are empty and you need more. Maybe this is one of those for me, but I do really love this product for every day because, you know, bronzer on me can really, if not blended properly, stick out and look orange, right? Even if it's a good bronzer, even if it's the right shade, if it's not blended with enough care. And this one does not really require any blending because it's sort of like glowy and sheer enough that it's much more low effort for more high effort, but also like more results. Product for warming up my face and sculpting. I really love the by Mario stick for contouring, which I used on my wedding day, but I have no time for that on the daily, so I just use this. And yeah, I guess it's a good reflection of the fact that like if I like something makeup wise, I won't really switch it up that often, so it's kind of a big deal for me to try like whole new things that I don't usually use. So we've done our concealer, we've done our bronzer. Basically that means the base is done in my books. I don't do that much with it in the first place. I'm just looking to even things out, add a little glow, you know, kind of hide the things that I feel like I want to hide. And I still look pretty pale, right? And what makes a big difference is blush at this stage. And I definitely love my blush. I apply quite a bit of it. and I try and go kind of high on the cheekbones because I feel like that just makes me look a little bit more awake. And if I have more time, then I will blend this blush with another color. But there's something magical about this color. It looks good on so many different skin tones, and it really doesn't look that bright once it's on your skin. But it makes a big difference, I think, in terms of the overall canvas that you're working with. Things that I skip if I'm in a hurry. One is highlighter, and so I apply that right in a stripe. I know, right? So profesh. Above where the blush is. And this is the same highlighter that I wore on my wedding day. And then a new thing that I've started doing because of feedings during the night is a little bit of touche éclat in the corner of the eye. And I don't need a lot more than that, partly thanks to Gigi. Props go to Gigi for being such a good sleeper at night. So unless she's hungry, she doesn't really wake up that much, and she loves to sleep, and she is not a morning person like both mom and dad. And so we've actually done really well with sleep, and I'm super, super grateful for that. It's made the transition back into work, because I've been back at work for about a couple weeks now, much easier. And I cannot really imagine, you know, like props to parents who have to do that with less sleep than what we're working with. But, you know, I still wake up, I'd say on average about 3 times per night to feed her and then go right back to sleep. So this kind of makes everything a little more glowy around the eye area. Love how it looks, but like I said, I don't think that this step, those 2 products are like on the must list for me, so if I don't have time, I will skip them. Next step that I never skip, because I have microbladed eyebrows that have just faded. I mean, they're worse than when I didn't have them microbladed, because the microblading has faded unevenly, and so you can see some of the strokes, and they're a funny color. They're not navy like the horror stories on YouTube, but it's definitely not like a brown that matches my eyebrows. I feel like it almost looks more like a charcoal, kind of faded charcoal kind of color. It's not good. If you're not willing, by the way, this is like, I sound like a mom now, but I am a mom, so it's okay. You know, it's so funny. People used to leave me all these comments on YouTube about my outfits, especially my outfits for work, and say like, oh, she just looks so old, like a mom or grandma. Usually grandma, actually. I'm not a grandma yet, but at least now I'm a mom, so it's okay for me to also look like a mom with my little like twin set of pearls, right? That's kind of fun and joyful for me. But yeah, here's my like mom you know, little diatribe here. Do not microblade your eyebrows unless you are willing to do it forever, like for the rest of your life, because it will look great as long as it's fresh for, I'd say, like even a solid 2 years, like 1.5 years. But you need to have it touched up. And tattoos, I hear, can kind of be like that too, and be a little bit of a commitment depending on, I don't know what, because I don't have any, but depending on things from people I know who have them. Anyway, long story short, I need a product to hide that, and it's not the end of the world because I already would touch up my eyebrows before I had microblading anyway. But yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take for it to completely fade to like nothing. The sad thing is it might never happen. I don't know. Not something I spend a lot of energy thinking about, but I do this step every day. And even if, like, let's say I was just gonna go out to get like bagels or something and I wasn't gonna put makeup on, this might be like the only thing I do. I don't know why it bothers me when my eyebrows look uneven, which they are kind of like naturally uneven. You can see like the weird coloring of the microblading. Fortunately, it's like not so bad. See, that's already better. That's already fixed in my box. Like it's already, you cannot see the weird strokes. And this is another Tarte product. I didn't even really haul it for you. See, this is like kind of like a bad haul. But I'm having fun chatting to you, so it's, maybe this is a terrible haul and not the best makeup tutorial, or like not that exciting of a makeup tutorial, but it feels like it's a good catch up, so that's what matters, to me at least. So I got the color taupe and it's perfect. Oh, I really like this actually. So I've been using the Selena Gomez, whatever that line is called, 2 shade cream product, not the pencil, but the little like palette thing. But I don't know, I don't like how cakey it is. It's very thick. This product is a little bit thinner. And I'm using my own brush, which came from a brush set that was $30 for like 24 brushes on Amazon, and I really like them. They are way better quality than you would ever think, and they don't really shed that much. Here's another one of them that's in the set. I was actually going to use that for bronzer, and then I didn't. I used my old Chanel one that sheds, but it's really great for like little contour. Anyway, this brush is from that set, so nothing fancy, and I really like it. And even more than that, I really, really like this brow product, so that's exciting. I hope it'll stay like super creamy and kind of light and easy to stretch for a long time, because the other one kind of didn't. A little too far there. Extending your eyebrows is a nice trick though. That was a bit much. Here we go. I mean, I try not to put like too much here on top. I maybe went like a little heavy with that, because it is like, it's very creamy, but it is pretty pigmented nonetheless. But you know, first time for everything. Really like the shade though. I think it's perfect. And then this I'm kind of excited to try, but let me check on Gigi again and grab a Kleenex, because like a new mascara, brow products. So this is the Glossier Boy Brow, which I didn't even know Glossier was sold at Sephora until now, but it is. And I've heard so many raving reviews about this. I've been using the Elle one otherwise, and I do like it. But I wanted to try this one because everyone says it's like the best thing ever. So we're going to try it together. Okay. I definitely feel like I got excited and put too much brow product on, but you know, new stuff. So I'm going to wipe some of this off. God, yeah, a lot is coming on. Goodness, yeah, a lot is coming off. Look at that. So let's try it together. I feel like already looking at it, it's a lot more pigmented than the Elle one that I usually use, and that can be a good or a bad thing. But I think it's mainly the hold that people really, really love about this product, and that's kind of fair and might be something that I really enjoy, because the Elle one, the color is good. The texture is good in terms of like application, doesn't look gloopy, doesn't like too much doesn't go on or anything, but the hold on it is like, I would say like a low hold. Definitely not gonna last like all day, or if you like your brows really like Instagram vertical, it's not gonna do it for you. So I don't need my brows to be that vertical. They don't really work that way, I don't know why. But if you want a little fluffing, yeah, this is definitely more of like a high hold kind of product. The eyeshadow part is the funnest part of doing your makeup, which is my long-winded excuse for getting this. So I got 2 different new eyeshadow palettes, but one of them isn't new to me, it's just a new one, because I finally had to get rid of my old version of this, which was still in the tin. Gosh, I feel like no one who watches this will remember when this palette was in the tin. It's one of Too Faced's first products, and they have new packaging for it. And I think a new scent too, because they were saying on the display that it smells like coconut, which I don't know if I'm really gonna love that, but I know I love the eyeshadows. And if you want to know, like in real life, the product, like one of the products that I get the most real life compliments about is my eyeshadow when I use this. And I think the colors have not changed at all, but I cannot open it. Why? There we go. Yes. Ugh. It's so fresh looking. So mine was so grotty, and I knew it was time because it was probably a decade old. Isn't that the most like toxic trait, as people say? Like, I don't even know what that means. What does that actually mean? But bad habit, I guess, is I do use my powder products forever, like until they look or smell weird. And I gotta say, is that unusual? Does anyone actually go through their makeup and throw away everything that's powder after a year? I'm not sure I would spend this much money on makeup if I did. I only throw away cream things, so I'll be throwing away the eyebrow product because it's about a year old, which I think is already 6 months past when you're supposed to keep it, and it's just kind of grotty, right, because creams just don't age as well as powders in terms of storage. So I knew it was time, not because even it was 10 years old, but because this color right here, Silk Teddy, is the best color ever, at least for my skin tone, in terms of just a really easy, quick makeup look that's super natural, like no blending, so easy. It was all gone, and so that made the whole palette just like not so useful. I wanted to also treat myself to a new Tom Ford palette, and the tone of the Natural Eyes one is more like kind of like pinky kind of colors, but there's also a taupe in there and a gold as well. I just felt like this one was different tones and would be really great for more of like a bronzy, warm, kind of sultry look. So I got this palette. So Tom Ford has quite a few like new quads, I feel like, that are different than the ones they used to have. So this is 31 Sous le Sable. And I really like it. I just thought it was really pretty, so I had to get it, even though how many neutral colors does one girl really need? But alright, so while I do my eyeshadow, so that I don't just keep talking to you about Gigi, I kind of want to just talk about her new sound effects. Are so cute. When I just went over now, like she does this like happy sound, little like screechy sounds, even like several syllables like ara, arururu kind of sounds. Like it's so cute and so fun to like hear her find her voice a little bit. And then for actually like several months now, so she's, you know, gonna be 4 months old and not that long. We're 16 weeks tomorrow. And her social smiling is just like at an all-time high. Like you can do just like a little smile at her, and she just has the biggest gummy grin, and it's just, it makes me so happy every time. It doesn't matter like what kind of mood I'm in, like that little smile is just life-changing. And it makes me so happy to like see her happy as well and discovering new things. She's also holding things, kind of like that's like a recent thing. So okay, one of the reasons I wasn't necessarily going to film this video now is I have another video for you that I filmed on vacation. It's kind of a vlog, but mostly like an outfit kind of video where I share with you everything I wore on our first vacation together. And it's kind of a nice summer preview as well because we were in Florida, so it was warm. So they're the kind of things that maybe you're thinking of shopping for now. So I was trying to be like kind of thoughtful and do something useful with that. And I found like some nice dresses that I feel you know, kind of comfortable with, because I still have like so much weight to lose to get back into my normal clothes that I cannot fit into right now. Lookbook featuring all of those things, and the fun thing is when we left for that trip, so before I went back to work, still on mat leave, she really couldn't hold things. Like she would try to, but the only things she could really grasp were like a finger or some hair, my hair namely. And within like halfway through the trip, she was starting to grip and hold things, and now she's really discovered that like she loves to like hold these like crinkly books or like little squishy rattles or like other little baby toys, and it's so fun to see her do that. It feels like a big kind of developmental leap. I feel like she went through like a big leap in terms of sleeping in general, like comfort and happiness around 6 weeks. And then another one, like, you know how she used to cry with the hiccuping, like that's gone now. Tummy ouchies also like mostly gone, so that's so nice for her and for us. But then around like the 3-month mark is like another like huge leap with finding her voice and finding her hands and like all the fun stuff. And to me she looks huge, but lit open. I don't know why I was struggling so much. Anyway, in Florida, everyone was saying how small she is, like how tiny, and I think she's huge, which is so funny, because she has pretty much doubled her birth weight. So to me, she looks really big, but to everyone else, I think she looks really small. which is funny. Anyway, or only funny to me probably. But here is the palette. So what I do every day is I grab, did this used to be called strip poker? I feel like it wasn't. Does anyone know? I unfortunately don't have my palette, so I don't know, but like this color here, the matte one, that's just amazing. I feel like it used to have a different name. Anyway, it's the same color, thank goodness, because it's the best color for not having to do any blending in the crease. So I grabbed this and I put it like pretty high. You can see like my fluffy brush is going almost all the way up to the brow bone. This is part of like one of the things that I really love about this palette. So all the shades are great, but the two that really make this like a must-have for me is this one and this one here. They're just incredible, and I think they just look so flattering. So then I grab just, you know, like your standard like flat brush, but I like this one because it's big. It's Sonia Kashuk, and then I grab Silk Teddy, and I kind of like put quite a lot on because it really, I don't know, it looks so pretty. It's kind of like All That Glitters a little bit from MAC, but it's lighter, and I don't know, it looks really smooth and flattering on me. I feel like if you have more medium skin, maybe All That Glitters would be better. But I really love this one. So I do that all over the lid, but you can see it like looks like a little bit light. So then normally I grab a combination of Push Up and Honey Pot, and I put that on the outer half of my lid. But today we're going to try this color because I think it looks really, really pretty. It's kind of like a pinky bronze that I don't have anything that looks like it. So we're going to try that. Oh yeah, it's so pretty. It's quite bronzy. Again, normally what I would do is I would grab some of the really light color Heaven, which again, was that the original name? I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar. And I do a little on the inner eye corner and brow bone. But today we're going to do one extra step, and I want to try one of these colors. Actually, maybe we'll use both. They're kind of like these interesting taupey mauve-y kind of colors. They're like a little bit different, and I'm going to put a little bit in the crease just to be fancy. I feel like it looks nice with my cardigan, and yeah, the mauve I think looks nice. It's kind of like a mauve-y brown that's easy to wear. And then I'll grab my fluffy brush, which still has some of that taupey blending shade. And so for eyeliner, my advice is to skip anything from Sephora and get this. So this is the Heroin Makeup Smooth Liquid Eyeliner. I used to use the Dolly Winks, but I don't know what happened. The price went crazy, and it's sometimes even impossible to find. And so I tried this one, and it is exactly the same. And so you can see my way of doing that now is a lot lighter and shorter than it used to be. I feel like I preferred a lot more drama with the eye makeup like in my 20s, and now I just prefer more of a subtle kind of look, like a little flick. And if I have time, sort of a bonus step is to grab some of the chocolate martini color mixed with the Sexpresso, these have ridiculous names, in the top right corner of this palette. Since I have my fluffy brush in my hand, I am going to grab a little bit of the color Push Up, which is like a darker bronze. I'm just going to put a little bit on the outer eye corner here. I just really like that color. Is the conclusion here that you don't really need the Tom Ford palette because this one is so great? I mean, it is my holy grail for a reason. So I think the Tom Ford palette is a nice treat, but this one is just, it's just amazing. It's the best. So you know what's funny? At the beginning I was like, I don't use that many Tarte products, but I guess that's just in my head because one of my favorite products for a while, for the last 6 months or so, is this lash primer from Tarte, which is really similar to the L'Oreal one that you can get from Amazon, but I think it's a little bit better. It looks really natural, but really it adds volume. So whatever mascara you end up using, it really makes it much more voluminous. And if you have little tiny lashes at the outside eye corner, it maximizes those like in a big way. And finishing step is Elle mascara. Always, this is my favorite mascara for quite a while now. And I do 2 coats of it. And this is an older tube. I have a new lip product. Also from Tarte. This is Maracuja Juicy Lip Cream in the color Soft Rose. I started to get really irritated at how busy the Sephora was, so I like barely swatched this, but I thought it was like, you know, in the general family of the easy to wear shades like Pillow Talk. And so I felt like I would probably like it. And I don't know, I really liked the shape of the tube. And another like kind of like bonus step product that I really like is this lip liner from Revlon. And what I do is I actually put it on after I've put on a little bit of lipstick or lip balm, usually lip balm, like a tinted lip balm. Product. Such a good cheapie. I think it comes in like a pack of 2 from Amazon, and it's awesome. Okay. I really like that. There is an interesting texture to it. It's super smooth. It feels like even smoother and more like creamy than a lip balm would. And I like to blend things out a little. With any tinted lip product, that's just like what I do. Okay, how pretty is that? I really like that color. Oh my gosh, do I need more of these? Hazelnuts? You know, nothing crazy, but I think it looks super fresh. The steps that I probably like wouldn't do every single day, but this is what it looks like if you do all the steps, and I really like it. I really like the eyeshadow, the blush, like it just feels really like fresh. And talking about new things, I have a new jewelry line coming, and for my business as well. Now, if you want to catch any of the existing colors on a really amazing discount, best discount I've ever done. I know everyone says that all the time, but it is a huge discount compared to what I usually do. So 10 or 15%. I'm doing buy one, get one 50% off for my scarves, including all of the different colors, last remaining jewel tone colors, as well as my luxe line as well with the really plush cashmere. Buy one of the luxury scarves and then get a second one as a gift or for yourself for 50% off, so $100. And so that's running now for 2 weeks. Once that finishes, then I'll be launching a new line of jewelry as well with the scarves. I'm just trying to make some room because I have just no room left for when I will receive the fall launch. So I'm still kind of playing with what I want to do with that exactly, but I know I'll need some room. House is just overflowing with baby stuff now, so we're gonna make some room, do a great discount, and then once that's done, we'll be on to some new things. I have 3 more products that aren't really ones that, well, I guess we could apply one of them. The first one that, you know, this one I'm definitely not going to try on this video is my favorite shower gel from Sephora. So this is from Necessaire. It's a eucalyptus smell. It smells just like a spa. Nothing else needs to be said. Ingredients are pretty good. I just really like it, but probably wouldn't buy it if it wasn't on sale. I like everything that I've tried from Summer Fridays except for their original product, which I just think is kind of like a bit meh, which is a face cream for traveling on planes. But I thought I would try the retinol that they just came out with. If you follow Mariana Hewitt, she's talked a lot about this, and it just seemed really interesting, and I don't have a retinol that I love in my skincare routine, so I thought I would try this out. And then last thing, and this one is the one where I was like, oh, we could try this out together, is a perfume. So yeah, I thought that this would be fun to try. And one last thing before I spray this on. So to at least talk to you about something that's not baby related. My engagement ring was just finished, and my husband ended up actually giving me the ring and saying some very sweet proposal-like things to me, even though we're already married since October, on the beach where he originally proposed with my wedding band. So we did things in reverse, and this band here is what he proposed with, and then we got married with just that, because in the works was this ring, and it took us a while, you know, what with having a baby and the holidays and everything, to get this done. But we worked with Lake Street Jewelers, 100% not sponsored. They don't even know I have an Instagram account, much less a YouTube channel. But they were awesome. So the middle diamond here, which is a European cut solitaire, is a wonderful bequest from my husband's grandmother, Ruth, and she was such an amazing woman. He's spoken to me so much about her. I really wish I could have met her, but she died long before we met. But she left him this diamond with instructions that it was for his future wife. So it is now my engagement ring that wasn't really, you know, proposed with, but does, you know, have that traditional engagement ring look to it. And if you're curious, on either side we decided to do baguettes, and then there are 3 diamonds on either side of the baguettes. Let's see if you can see anything. It's a little bit like Art Deco looking, super classic. I absolutely love how it turned out. Shout out to the local jeweler that ended up putting this together for us. We did many CAD iterations, and with my business, you know, I was super picky, so we went through several rounds of baguette diamonds that I thought were the wrong size and not the perfect shape for it, and the jeweler there, Sam, agreed, and so he managed to source the side baguettes for us, and all of that pickiness, they were so accommodating with it, and that plus like just the enjoyment of the design process is why my husband proposed with a simple diamond band versus a traditional ring. So he wasn't even sure that I would like his grandma's diamond, which is so funny to me because I adore it. I think it's so beautiful. I think the size is gorgeous, and she just kept it all those years. I think she wore it as a non-engagement ring sometimes as well. But when we got it, it was a loose diamond, and I just think it's so me. It's so perfect. I love it so much. So that is what I've ended up with, and I feel like some people will notice it in this video, so I might as well speak to it for a moment and at least include some non-baby content as well. This bottle somehow feels smaller than I thought it would. I'm like kind of regretting not getting the bigger size, but I'm not sure 100% that I will like it. I've worn for a long time the original Acqua di Gioia in the green bottle, but this is the blue bottle, which is Ocean di Gioia, and it apparently has notes of pear and various oceanic kind of notes added to the original scent, and so I wanted to try that for summer, and I didn't want to try and switch out my perfume too much because the original Acqua di Gioia is what Gigi, I assume, associates with me because I wore it all throughout when I was pregnant pretty much, and wore it also like since she was born. So ooh, it does smell good. I feel like it's also a little bit more heavy on like the white flowers, but it has the same super clean, simple, classy, not offensive smell of the Acqua di Gioia. Acqua di Gioia is like definitely one of my top scents, I would say, for just like everyone's gonna like it. Like I just really don't see anyone hating that scent because it's a super like clean smelling fragrance, but it's not super powdery, it's not super flowery or anything. And so this one to me smells like a little bit like, I can definitely smell the pear, by the way, for once. You know, like sometimes the descriptions are so different than things end up actually smelling, but I do think it smells like very pear-ish with a little bit more white flowers, and the overall scent without being super minty It does smell like a pear mojito. Someone said that on Fragrantica, like that website is where I read all the reviews, and they said it smelled like a sparkling pear mojito, and I totally get what they mean. Without being super green like mint, it smells exactly like that. So if you feel like you like that description, you will like this. I'm happy with that though. Should I have gotten the bigger bottle though? Look how small this is. Why is it so small? It's cute though. It's like a baby one. I guess, you know, it'll be cute on my vanity to have the like regular Acqua di Gioia, which is in the larger, I guess, is it 50 ml or 100 ml? It's like a much bigger bottle than this. And then have this little baby one next to it. But anyway, I have nothing else to talk to you about now. We've talked about diamonds, babies, boobies, everything under the sun that I have to tell you about. So thank you so much for watching this rambly video. I'm really happy we got to catch up. It actually makes a lot of sense to me now because you like know most of my life updates. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you now, I think, and see you in my next installment, which we already know will be an outfit lookbook for our first family vacation. Someone just woke up. Let's say bye-bye. Okay.